Imagine this, a blockbuster movie about breaking cycles of abuse, but behind the scenes, a real-life power struggle that's even more twisted than the plot. The internet exploded with headlines accusing director Justin Baldoni of everything from inappropriate chats to running a smear campaign against star Blake Lively. But what if I told you the story everyone's sharing is missing the biggest twist? That the so-called scandal started long before filming, in a casual home conversation about parenthood, and it was weaponized later to shift control. What if the real villain isn't the director, but a calculated takeover by Hollywood heavyweights? Buckle up, because we're diving deep into the unseen texts, calls, and meetings that flipped the script. By the end, you'll question everything you thought you knew about It Ends With Us. Who really pulled the strings? And why does it matter? Let's uncover the truth step by step. Justin Baldoni didn't just direct It Ends With Us. He acquired the rights and envisioned leading the project from the start. But almost immediately, the dynamics began to change. Sudden script overhauls, influential voices whispering in his ear, and a flood of pre-production stories portraying him as erratic. Doesn't that seem a bit too perfect? Think about it. If the director appears unstable right out of the gate, who stands to gain by stepping in as the hero? The turning point came early. As friction built, Justin received a pivotal phone call from Shawn Levy, a director tightly connected to Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. According to Justin's testimony, this wasn't just friendly advice, it was a reset directive, essentially instructing him on managing his lead actress. In Hollywood, outsiders don't typically dictate to the director. That's not standard, that's influence at play. From there, the evidence piles up. On May 1st, producer Alex Sachs messaged executive Jaime Heath, admitting Blake's suggestions were off base, then adding the bombshell. Blake's essentially taken over directing. This isn't good. Pause and reread that. A star overriding the actual director, leading to nonstop revisions, stalled approvals, wasted hours, and eroded leadership. That's the recipe for a production meltdown. It didn't stop at one conversation. Feeling cornered, Justin and Jaime began logging it all, including taped discussions with Levy, agency reps, and more. Why go to those lengths? Because minor mix-ups were escalating into reputation-destroying rumors. When your every word gets distorted, you start preserving proof. Levy's input in action? It pushed Justin to yield more ground. Extra input on scripts, heightened authority shifts. Before long, Ryan's contributing to rewrites, Blake's feedback is relentless, and the chain of command crumbles. The team notices, the producers sense it. The director's command fades from decisive to diluted. This isn't teamwork, it's a subtle seizure of control. Enter the catalyst, Alex Sachs. She was a producer Justin trusted and onboarded, but she quickly turned into the set's chief instigator. Her past with June Pictures? Her former partner dealt with multiple harassment allegations in 2017, creating a shadow that lingered. On this film, Sachs texted an exec early, "We should replace the director." The effort to oust Justin kicked off swiftly. As Levy's guidance undermined Justin's standing, Sachs's communications torched it further. She labeled Justin and Jaime as self-absorbed risks who distorted facts. Repeat that narrative enough, and even a solid crew buys into it, regardless of reality. Bolstered by Blake's fame and studio backing, Sachs's influence grew. Constant changes, approval delays, budgets draining. It's all about time as currency. But her messages felt less like fixes and more like strategic positioning. She aimed for prime credits and dominance. Branding the director problematic? That's a fast track to commandeering the project. This is Hollywood's version of a coup. Erode the leader, amplify the star, saturate with doubts. When directors resort to recording, trust is shattered. Justin and Jaime captured those exchanges because trivial issues ballooned into massive claims. Fast forward, Levy's April adjustment call, May's alerts about Blake helming the film, endless tweaks, slipping grip, culminating in January 4th's intense confrontation. Per Justin's sworn account, Ryan Reynolds confronted him directly. The script was a wreck and I rescued it. Not feedback, a triumph declaration. Why is that key? When a megastar's spouse and industry titan claims salvation, it validates all prior chaos narratives about Justin. Forget who held the IP or the proper protocol, the story flips to flawed director, heroic saviors. And who profits? The sideline players already calling shots. The distorted highlight everyone's buzzing about. Justin discussing personal matters with Blake. Court docs pinpointed to December 14, 2022, pre-contract, in her home. She was heavily pregnant with their son, and the talk veered to typical new parent topics, like delivery, care, and circumcision decisions. Ryan popped in and out, aides and staff were present. Justin shared contextually, as a Jewish father, it's a cultural and health choice families debate. This wasn't office banter, it was informal, family-oriented pre-hire dialogue.
If it unsettled Blake, why commit afterward? She's declined roles before. Yet, she proceeded, only for that private exchange to morph into ammo months later. Not via altered facts, but reframed optics. Legally, since she wasn't staff yet, it doesn't align with standard harassment. It was a home meetup about life changes, a relatable, if clumsy, parent chat, repackaged as outrage bait. Why? As Justin's hold weakened, any snippet could prove he was the issue. That's PR warfare. Snag the juiciest bit, ditch context, fuel fury, loop it. Blake alleges Justin orchestrated a defamation blitz against her. Strong claim, weak backing. Her docs rely on assumptions and implications, not direct proof like damning messages or statements. When evidence falters, they pivot to spoliation, penalize for alleged deletions. That's desperation, not strength. The true arena? Promotion. Justin advocated tying the film to anti-abuse efforts, collaborating with No More, prepping resources, channeling funds, hundreds of thousands, to aid. Noble and fitting, right? But it clashed with Ryan and Blake's polished, celebrity-centric strategy. If Justin spotlights survivors, it dilutes their unified front. Suddenly, his victim support gets spun as damaging her rep. If a vicious attack existed, show Justin's quotes, clips, or emails. Instead, complaints center on his advocacy clashing with their promo. That's the giveaway. Not vengeance, but mismatched visions. Promoting prevention isn't sabotage, it's the film's essence. This tactic's familiar. To sideline a director, chip away relentlessly. Here, it meant perpetual script flips, star-vetoed clearances, assists becoming mandates. Producer logs confirmed, Blake's directing now, trouble ahead. Not partnership, domination. Socks sowed narcissist and threat seeds. Everyday tensions, frustrated vibes, pointed edits, timeline shifts, recast as misconduct. Keeps the director unsteady, every move a potential pitfall. Take the rooftop sequence. Justin notes Blake pushed for it, then it mismatched later, sparking conflict. Layer on Levy's yield more directive, and the structure inverts. Ryan edits pages, whispers spread, the director's role hollows. Documenting for safeguard? Labeled as suspicion, not self-defense. Gaslighting 101. Discredit the records, exposing the scheme. Outcome? Justin treads carefully. Lines scrutinized, limits deemed aggressive. Rewrites persist, time slips. Then the 17-point pact, granting Blake cut vetoes, true sway over finals, plus Justin's testimony of a looming media bomb if he resisted, comply or face monster labels. Notes are debatable, contracts aren't. The film warps to her view, or he caves under threat. The reveal hits January 4th, post-rewrites and maneuvers. Ryan's face-off claim. Script disaster, I fixed it. That's the power grab unmasked. Blake cries defamation, yet no solid traces. Conversely, Justin's intent was always survivor-focused promo and donations. When it didn't sync with their star gloss, it became retaliation. Piece it together. Pre-employment chat decontextualized for creep factor, external tweaks warping ranks, crew poisoning texts, rewrite marathons, cut control clause, the rescue proclamation. Not isolated incidents, it's narrative ownership, from set to socials. Justin was green? Sure. Flawed? Humanly so. But the turmoil? Deliberate design. Control the edit, buzz and angle, and facts fade. You own the perception. If this flips your view, share below. Who held the reins and at what cost?